down here, something that most likely won't even be there. So live today. Now, granted, be a good person, and if there is somebody up there, it's like, hey, let me in. I'm a good guy. All right. Religion is an easy sell. This is one thing that I personally am tired of. All right. Religion tells people what they want to hear, not what they need to hear, and I love that one right there. All right. You got the comforting lies versus the truths, and that one really bothers me. This one too. Abuse of religion to make some money. All right. These guys down here drive me nuts. They're millionaires. Playing off the hearts of people wanting to go to heaven and giving all their money. And that's why me and a handful of people around here get a little bit upset, because it's an easy sell. I mean, these people are just passing over money. Here you go, buying their way into heaven, And we're like, hey, we got a building to pay for too. So it's frustrating for us that we don't have this comforting lies to sell people. All right, and that's what probably bothers me. One of the top ones too. So churches are, think about it. Today's Mother's Day. Churches are all filled today, giving money all over the world. And we're struggling to get this movement started, but I, for one, ain't going to stop. All right, prevents the much-needed teamwork in the world. All right, number one thing that separates human beings is language. Number two is religion. Now, the only reason why I say language over religion is because you have to communicate. I mean, the human race has got to communicate if there's ever going to be any teamwork. We can't work together if we can't understand each other. The headphones at the United Nations drive me nuts. We need one common language in the world so we can actually speak to people, so our mannerisms come through, our body language comes through, our words mean the same thing all over the planet. And because people have got to understand that we have one planet, one atmosphere, and we're not a bunch of isolated societies anymore. We've got to start working together. All right, and starting with religion and language. Okay, now, believing that your religion is the only correct one is another one that drives me crazy. All right? And until, like I said a minute ago, until a God shows up and tells us what religion is correct, nobody knows. Right? We believe we know, but we don't. All right? Now, if there was only one God, there would be only one religion, if you think about it. So it's with that concept right there, it is completely obvious that religion is man-made. All right? Because we had a whole bunch of isolated societies and coming up with our own theories. All right? But this also goes for atheists. I argue this with real diehard atheists who want to isolate from people. And I'll go over that here in about 10 minutes, but we'll get into why atheists need to work with religious people. So, but this, like I said, this goes for atheists too. Even our geniuses out there, our scientists, say, hey, at least leave the option open and work with people while you're telling them they're wrong. All right. Now, why are there so many religions? Again, because we have isolated societies that came up with their own crazy-ass ideas. All right. But the point is there's no frontier anymore. There's nowhere for us to go. Until we develop space travel, we have got to start working together as a team. All right. Now, the religious, wars have always dictated what religion a country has, and the desire to be different. Think about this country. It was founded by pilgrims who wanted religious freedom, who were tired of being persecuted in England and wanted a new life. And the same goes for people that move to suburbia, move out of the inner city. They want something different, all right? They want to get away from the status quo and start their own thing. So everybody always wants to do their own thing. We got to be mindful of that. Okay, and again, like I said, until we develop space travel, there is no frontier left, and it's time to face our problems and work together. Okay? Selfishness and laziness. How many of you guys hear this one? God is in control. Only He can fix our problems. All right? Religion makes an excuse to not even try to fix our problems in the world, and that drives me crazy. All right, let's just be happy and worry-free. How convenient! Oh, how convenient! Now I don't have to worry about the problems anymore. It's up to God; He's in control. I'm going to go party and go to the beach. No. We have got to fix our problems and face them. Okay? To me, like I said, that's nothing more than a pathetic excuse to be lazy and ignore our problems. Okay? So if there is a God, it obviously leaves it up to us to fix ourselves. I like these ones. I got a couple of these here for you. This is prayer. I get angry at prayer sometimes when you see it on the internet. A tragedy happens and everybody's, thoughts and prayers. Yeah, that's just because you don't want to help. All right? Yeah, you want to feel good and not help. All right? Again, the best way to feel like you're making a difference in the world without actually doing jack shit. Excuse my French, but that one cracks me up. How about this one? All right? I already know what you want. I just want to hear you beg for it. All right? Right. Yeah, God's supposed to be in control and everything happens for a reason, but we're supposed to pray and beg for it? You're like, come on. How's this one? Thank you for all the prayers. Can we now have some food? All right. Think about it. People just want to say, hey, my prayers and thoughts are with you, but I'm not going to help or send any money. Again, this one, poor guy's drowned. Hey, my thoughts and prayers are with you. Good luck. So I get it. Like I said, these just crack me up, so I like to put them in my presentation. Moving on, religion and politics. Your religious beliefs will always influence how you vote. All right, no matter how much we try to, keep the wall up between separation of church and state, it's still creeping in. People, and now especially with our new president, we're getting this like crazy. Hey, the Bible's more important than the Constitution, and we're starting to hear all this. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Time to put the gloves on because now I'm getting angry. And this is where I get most angriest because the most important thing to fixing our problems in the human race is through the lawmaking process to establish our laws and rules. Okay? All right. Now, if religion is going to continue to influence government, it's time for us to start influencing religion, and that's why I'm so adamant about doing what I'm doing. Okay? Again, only God can fix our problems. This guy, anybody know this guy? All right, this guy was the chairman of the Environment and Public Works Committee. He's the guy that got up in front of the Congress and held the snowball up and said, hey, there's still snow in the world. There's no global warming. I wanted to, yeah. But anyway, it said, man can't change climate, only God can. All right, and this guy is in control of our environment in the government. That's where the line's got to stop. And that's where I start getting angry. You see, I start getting fired up, so I apologize if I get a little too charged up here. Anyone who thinks religion is not already influencing our government is extremely naive, and that's why I bark like I do. Okay? Another one, looting our natural resources. And I'm a big planet, environmentalist, and I love our national parks, and the fact that we're looting this planet for all it's worth just for money is really annoying, all right? And, a lot of these, the fracking, why is that still legal? We're killing our groundwater and, yep, go ahead and make money. Hey, great. Yeah, a couple people can be rich. Why everybody else has to drink toxic water? Great. All right? So when religion says the end of the world is coming soon, so it's okay to loot our natural resources, God will fix it. God will just swoop us to another planet so we can kill that one. No, we can't think like that as a human race. And I'm tired of people who say that. Okay? Next one, speaking for God. How many times you get into an argument with somebody and they give you this crap? God is on my side. The old false credibility argument. God agrees with me. See this book? God's on my side. No, Moses, the 10 Commandments, you made that crap up. Don't be giving me this. You went up to the mountain and God spoke to you. Jive. That's when I was 14 years old going, wait a minute. Okay, who else heard that? He's the only one? Right? Yeah. If you don't know an answer to a question, make something up. How many people do that? Just make some shit up. You got to stop doing that. That's the way God wants it. That's everything happens for a reason because God said so. How many times you get into an argument? But this is the classic 2 against 1. This is basic child psychology. It's me and God against you. How many times you were a little kid where you were arguing with somebody and all of a sudden your sister goes, because mom said so. Well, if mom said so, then okay, I'll go clean my room. But this happens with adulthood too, and especially with religion. When they say, no, we got to have this law and this rule because God said so. Well, until I hear that from God myself, you're the only one saying so. All right, and my point is, voice your opinions. I'm encouraging people to voice their opinions, even religious people. You want to bring your religion into an argument? Fine. But speak for yourself, all right? Quit speaking for some imaginary guy in the clouds and admit that it is your opinion, not some magical guy in the clouds' opinion, okay? All right, next one, control, using religion to control people. How many wars have we gone to? How many people have said to charge up a hill in front of machine guns and say, hey, well, if anything happens, you get to go to heaven. Great, you charge up that hill. I don't believe in heaven, man. I want to live for a long time. I ain't doing that. But that's the way they get people to fight. Hey, you get 72 virgins if you blow yourself up. This is the part that people just still accept about religion, and it's just insanity to me. All right? Religion and politics. Some ways of control are less obvious. They're not like war right in front of you, but they're sneaky. These guys are sneaky. God-fearing, how about that one? We're supposed to be scared of God? All right, whatever happened to God's supposed to be the good guy? You know, I thought he was supposed to be the good guy out there. People are always saying, no, no, that's the devil. Which is my next slide here. We'll get to it in a second. But when people say, you know, God-fearing, to me, as all I hear is one more trick to control people. Just one more trick to get people to behave and do what they're told. Now, a lot of people will bark at me and get angry with me about using the word stupidity, but I still insist on doing it, all right? Because it's not just about ignorance in the world. Stupidity encompasses a lot of other things. So I apologize if that offends anybody, but I insist on using the word just because it is so versatile and it's blunt. I personally like bluntness, right? But religion holds back science and education and progress, okay? Religion doesn't want people thinking for themselves. They want obedient people. Science doesn't have all the answers, but at least science tries, okay? Sad how religion blocks progress. Think about it. Quick little 10-second history lesson. We had human race and human society was rocking there for a while. I mean, if you go back and study Greece and Rome, things were pretty good. Democracy was flourishing. We had, we were taking care of the planet, and we had the aqueducts feeding lots of people with water, clean water. And then all of a sudden the Dark Ages come along. All right, here we go. Big old hole left by the Christian Dark Ages. All right, Rome fell. Right after Rome falls, we get 1,000 years of, oppression and a handful of rich people stealing everybody's money and enslaving people in college. I love this. This one right here is a very simple graph, but this is so blunt. Now, anybody, how did we get out of the Dark Ages? All right, what was anybody got a quick guess on what I consider to be the #1 most important invention of all time?
Printing press.
There you go. The printing press. The printing press to me was the #1 invention of all time because what it did is it promoted teamwork. It said, I've got great ideas, I'm going to write it down, we're going to print it and share it with everybody so people can learn from my ideas. Before the printing press, you had to write it, you had to get somebody to copy it, and only rich people got to study, all right? And only the rich people got to learn. And geniuses throughout history, the human mind has been pretty smart for a long time, but their ideas and their knowledge didn't get passed on because there was no way to do it. So that right there I consider to be the most important invention of all time. #2, the internet. I love the internet. To me, there's so much knowledge out there. I consider that to be the #2 most important invention of all time, only because it's happened after the printing press. Okay, but science, getting into Kevin's idea for the name of science and wonder here is awesome because the whole argument between science and religion. Fire through a couple of these, all right, because you don't figure stuff out by praying. A couple more here. This one here still cracks me up. What's it say out there? I better make up one heck of a lie to explain this one. That's Mary with her pregnancy test. And people that still believe the earth is flat and only 6,000 years, I mean, come on. Talking snakes, parting the Red Sea, created in 7 days. I'm sorry, and you just have to have faith and believe, Dave. No, I don't, all right? And I'm trying to encourage other people that they don't either. Abuse of forgiveness, a couple more here. An eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. Now, this one I get into arguments all the time, but this is my theory. Two wrongs don't make a right. But as far as I'm personally concerned, it's still better than one wrong going unpunished, right? And we can argue about that in a little bit if you'd like to. And I hate the old, it's better to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission. That one bothers me too. I mean, because all that is nothing but permission to, hey, do whatever you want. I like the meme, I forgot to put it in. The little boy says, I want a bike, and I asked my dad, and he said no, so I stole one and asked for forgiveness. It's like, yeah, kids are learning. It's pretty easy to figure that out. It's like a big old get out of jail free card. All right. And so I believe with education is teaching prevention and not just reacting to problems. And this is part of it. People need to think before they act. All right, a couple more. Fate and destiny. God has a plan for everything. Everything happens for a reason. If God picks and chooses, then fate and destiny is a bunch of crap. All right, you can't have both of these. These two contradict each other. No, not everything happens for a reason. If God picks and chooses when he wants to get involved. All right, and this is another one here. If that means it's all part of God's plan, I got a problem with that. And here's a pretty blunt one, and I apologize if this is a little too harsh of a meme, but that's why religion bothers me. These things. This is where my passion comes from. Hey, great. What's the guy, Stephen Fry? Did you see his little 3-minute interview when he got interviewed? What would you say if you ever met God? And he's like, bone cancer in children? What's with that?